They said, quote, the president was never in Epstein's office. Is that true?
That's just another blatant lie.
The imperviousness of Donald Trump, his uncanny ability to have his base completely ignore rampant, wild criminality is something of legend. But maybe that's coming to an end, and it would be nice to see that it was Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump's close, decades-long relationship with him that does it. He can't even get out of his own way on the deal. He posted this. I always say tweeted. He tweeted this to True Social yesterday at 3:20 p.m. Eastern time. We had the greatest 6 months of any president in the history of our country. And all the fake news wants to talk about is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Oh, sad. One, it's not all the fake news wants to talk about. It's all MAGA world. You fomented conspiracy theory. You normalized it within your party, Donald Trump. And now it's coming home to roost, coming home to bite you in your ample ass. And I, for one, am here for it. I'm okay with it because, one, it only highlights the close relationship, the best friend status that Donald Trump held with Jeffrey Epstein, a notorious abuser, a criminal against the most innocent among us, children. And Donald Trump's close relationship with his pubic hair signature on the card saying, here's to another year of wonderful secrets, Jeffrey. And against all odds, it seems as though maybe it's sticking. Last night, Erin Burnett had Mark Epstein, the brother, the sibling of Jeffrey Epstein on. And they talked about this attempt to distance Donald Trump from Jeffrey Epstein. And here's a firsthand observer, family of the notorious child predator, who says it's just all an attempt to cover Donald Trump's butt, I think is how he phrases it. Here's Erin Burnett. I want to play a little bit of this clip, fewer than 2 minutes, less than just a minute 45 or something. I think a very important part of their conversation, and I hope you think so too. Watch this.
Now, okay, Mark, Trump admits they had a falling out with your brother. That's what he said happened. He has not shared what led to it. But here are some of the things that he has been willing to say about your brother. I want to play them for you.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. Jeffrey Epstein was not somebody that I respected.
That does not fit with what you're telling me, Mark.
Yeah, I understand it doesn't. But he's trying to cover his butt. I mean, look, I understand people trying to distance themselves from Jeffrey because of what he was charged with and the circumstances he found himself in. I understand that. But I know that they were good friends, and I witnessed it myself.
You mentioned something a moment ago that made me think of this, something that the White House told us yesterday. We talked to a woman who accused your brother of sexual assault, and she also talked about an encounter with Trump at your brother's office. This was in 1995. She found it disturbing. She said she told the FBI twice to look into people around your brother, including Trump. But she talked about this incident that she said happened in his office. And the White House, their response to us, Mark, they were categorical. They said, quote, the president was never in Epstein's office. Is that true?
That's just another blatant lie because he was there. The people that worked for Jeffrey in his office, you can find them. They can testify that they saw Trump in Jeffrey's office on numerous occasions. So for him to say he wasn't there, all I can say is that's just another lie.
He's absolutely trying to cover his butt, as Mark Epstein said there. And let's set aside Mark's categorization of his brother. I understand why he wants to distance himself from, the things that Jeffrey was charged with and the circumstances that he found himself in. He didn't find himself wake up one day, oh, these are weird circumstances that I'm in. He put himself there. He abused children. He raped young girls. He didn't find himself in a situation. Oh, what a wily predicament that I found myself in. Mark Epstein, your brother is a vile criminal against children. He wasn't just charged with things, he was convicted of things and got a sweetheart deal by Donald Trump's former labor secretary when he was the U.S. attorney in Florida. But we'll set that all aside, as I said I would and then didn't. This is someone who was on the ground, who knows Donald Trump. If not for the fact that there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of photos of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together, arm in arm, pals to the end. It is ridiculous for Donald Trump to assert, and even MAGA world knows, even the cult sees it and knows that it strains reality. It doesn't line up with absolutely everything we know about Donald Trump. Pals, friends, sending birthday cards, flying on the jet, all of this. And it's not going away. And even Donald Trump doesn't know how to make it go away. Certainly not when he's posting about it on Truth Social every single day about the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. If he really wanted it to go, he would just stop talking about it and hope that the media will let it go. Hope that people in independent media will let it go. I, for one, am not. In fact, when I talk about the stories that are meant to be distractions, I make a point to say, this is a distraction from this. We're going to talk about it as such. Anyway, what do you think? I welcome you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. And follow me on social media if you're already there. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. The headlines obviously talked about the passing of Trump's big, beautiful bill. But did you catch what the headlines did not make note of? This same beautiful bill hands over nearly $40 billion of our tax dollars to ICE per year. This is more money than most countries spend on their entire military. And we're granting it to our version of the secret police. Despite raids on the increase and Trump's near constant mention of deporting U.S. citizens, much of our mainstream media has avoided talking about this funding increase. Or worse, they have twisted the bill's language to frame this spending as good for the citizens of the United States. This should be the biggest story in America right now, and it's not. And look, you'd be naive to think that this is anything other than by design from the GOP. Tools like ground news are an essential part of your news consumption for examples just like this. By gathering the world's news in one place, organizing it by story, and then analyzing just how far right, how radical each unbiased source actually is, ground news will expose blind spots like this ICE funding, and it will give you more context than you can get anywhere else. Shouldn't we be learning from history? We have seen Trump's playbook before, and the comparisons to regimes of misinformation and terror are alarmingly plentiful. Ground news will help you stay ahead on immigration, the economy, or simply bring your attention to stories missing from your newsfeed. Both Ground News' app and their website are smarter, more reliable ways to access the news unfiltered, to stay informed in the face of MAGA wanting to keep us in the dark. Scan this QR code or head to ground.news/Dollemore now to score 40% off the same Vantage plan that I use, which gives you unlimited access for just $5 per month. Or simply click the link in the description below to begin saving big. The right is absolutely banking on you to be uninformed. Stay ahead and see all the news with Ground News.